16 Layers, as is now, started in 2006. Before that kicked off, it was made up really of the remnants of a previous group called Alligator.
16 Layers is a tight, dynamic, punchy sounding, guitar-based rock band.
Like one of our German fans described us as the bastard child of Tin Lizzy and U2. We see ourselves aligned with Foo Fighters, the Queens of the Stone Age.
A lot of grunge, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, that kind of thing.
And one of the other things we all have in common, I think, is a healthy teenage dose of listening to a lot of metal, I think, is in there. I think that's where a lot of the energy, the core energy in the band comes from that.
The reason why we get together as a band, because we're influenced by the same things. And that's why we play that music. We see it as putting our slant or trying to take that sort of music to the next level.
We're all into that heavy rock thing. I suppose it's a nice way to get a bit of aggression out on stage, and so I suppose it's therapeutic in a way.
It certainly is therapeutic.
Yeah.
We're just a couple of friends with no strings, no strings. With all the time in the world, but nothing.
About 2 years ago, we were approached by an indie record label who had some nice money behind it, and everything was cool.
It meant all of a sudden it's some kind of money to keep things going. It kind of legitimised the struggle that we'd had for so long of trying to put this thing together, of writing songs, and made us feel that, well, okay, this can work. We're doing something right here.
We got to work with some really cool people over in Sawmills in Cornwall, and it was a really good time actually.
Everything was going okay with the deal for a while, but we started noticing, as has happened sometimes with these deals, that everyone's sort of trying to control what's going on, trying to tell you what to do, but not doing anything.
They were kind of started to change their mind on what they wanted in terms of the band look and stuff like that, so they were starting to ask us to change elements of the band.
They tried to break up the band at one point. The record company tried to break up the band because they saw elements of one thing and elements of another. I was really of the belief that we can't do this. This is the band that was set up. Now, if you wanted to sign a couple of the lads personally and do something different, that's what should have been discussed at the time. And the fuckers had put a real rattle in the band as well. The record company had driven a real spike through, They managed to get under our skin a little. And I'm really proud we told them to fuck off at the time. I'm really proud we did that. We started to realise, maybe this company isn't quite sure what they've gotten into with a rock band.
So we kind of put it to the record company, said, look, you know what? What do you want? You're the one who signed this.
I didn't know what the fuck they wanted from us. I really hadn't a clue. I liked them, but turned out a bit fucking clownish. Now, maybe they were dragged into something they didn't know what they were getting into either.
We noticed the warning signs were there that something was wrong when phone calls weren't being returned, and
That's always the sign.
that's always the sign, yeah. And there was some tentative meetings where you just knew by people's body language that something was going terribly wrong.
And I knew at that point, this is it. These are warning flags going up. These are signals now.
But then it kind of came to light that money was tight for them then, and it seemed that with recession, all that kind of stuff, that these some of the main investors in it just weren't there anymore.
That's record companies, man. It's business. It's bottom line, and I can't argue with that. I can't fight that.
And that was the end of the dream, and it was a sad little while when you have to readjust in your head from things going all the way up here to going right back down again.
At the end of that, oh man, we were so fucking deflated. It was just like, it just felt like, you know, there it is, it's gone again. We could have stopped at that stage. I wanted to stop. I think the other lads possibly wanted to stop at that stage as well.
They'd put so much work in over 2 years, and so many other people had put so much work in that it just would have been, too much of a shame to let it die there.
I think we would have felt that they would have won somehow, you know. But we'd started and we were determined to finish what we started.
So we kind of finished off the recordings, mixed it up ourselves, and then we got the album out.
When we finished the album, it was like, okay, well great, we've done this now. We've got this thing. Through all this shit and bullshit that we've had to deal with the last couple of years, and through all the ups and downs, here we have it. This is it.
It's been on sale in Tower, and it's sold loads of copies, and they keep calling up and we keep sending more copies back in. And it's not just us twisting arms for friends to go in, there's people actually going in and looking for the album now. So that's really exciting. That's been very cool.
Mr. Dumbo, ladies and gentlemen. Face down in the ground, and I'll fall.
The first thing we wanted to do was the launch gig, and we hired Crawdaddy. That was fantastic. We got about 300 people in there, and it just felt like vindication.
We live and die live, like, simple as that. And that's the way it should be with a good band.
Like if you do a good gig, I mean, crowd reaction and the fact that, you know, people are enjoying it, it gives it back to you. I mean, you go away feeling great because people have really enjoyed it.
We need to move on now and make the next album and make it sound bigger and better and badder, and yeah.
16 Layers is like our religion, you know. It's our creed. There's no, it's part of each one of us.
The love of the music that makes you do it, and the faith that you have in your own music. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to do any other job.
There's a real brotherhood within the band. 16 layers now, like we all feel a part of it because of what we've been through to get it this far.
We ain't going anywhere. We're going to be touring around, and we're going to keep recording and writing for as long as good Lord lets us. There you go.
We're not going to put this down. There's no way. There's another couple of albums in it yet. It's not going to end here.
You go through someone's iPod, you find a 16 Layers album, and some random or average punter who listen to, you know, the sort of stuff that we are. And then you probably listen to some crap as well. We want to be there alongside the crap, alongside Neil Sedaka, 16 Layers. I mean, not saying that Neil Sedaka is crap, but you know what I'm saying.
I think that's a wrap, motherfucker.